Hello everyone, we're here with the Dinah Gore 4-H food competition here. I'm Ben, and this is Ryan, and it seems that we have a whole lot of ingredients right in front of us. So, do you know why are these ingredients in front of us, Ryan?
Well, I got an email, did you?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's about the Dinah Gore competition, and my looks deceived me, but I at least see a bag of Cheez-Its. Did you leave your snacks on the table while we're trying to cook?
Well, believe it or not, but that is actually a ingredient for what we have to do.
That's fun. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What do we gotta do first?
Well, first of all, we've got to go ahead and wash our hands just to make sure we don't have any pathogens or anything on there. So what you're going to do is you just want to turn on the water and get your hands wet. Then when you do that and it's all like nice and wet, you just get some soap and start scrubbing your hands, right? And then once you do that, you just scrub, keep on singing, and you sing happy birthday about twice in your head just to make sure that you get nice and scrubbed. And then when you do that, you just start rinsing your hands off. And then after you rinse your hands off, you want to get some paper towels to get the faucets clean. So that way, you don't touch the faucets with your hands, and so you don't get your hands dirty again. Alright, now that we've got our hands nice and clean, Ryan, would you like to go over all the ingredients for us today?
Of course. So it looks like our basket includes some eggs, whole wheat bread, spinach, fresh tomatoes, peaches, and a bag of Cheez-Its. Now, looking at these ingredients, I'm thinking of making an omelet.
An omelet? Well, if we made an omelet, I don't really see what we can make with all the bread, and I don't really know if peaches would go great with omelets. That just might be my thing. And people might be making omelets a lot for this competition. But what I'm thinking is we take that bread and we roll it out with a rolling pin, and we make burritos out of it with the eggs, spinach, and the tomatoes, and the Cheez-Its, of course, with that nice little crunch on the inside. And we take those peaches and we get some yogurt and make that as a nice dipping sauce for those burritos. I think that would work out nice.
Alright, let's see what that turns out to be.
Alright, well, let's get cooking.
Okay, so first things first, we are going to wash the fruits and veggies to get rid of the dirt or any bacteria. To properly get rid of it, we are going to use cold water, and once we run it with that, we're going to grab a paper towel and cover it up so we don't make much of a mess. So now we are going to prep our bread into a burrito-like state by rolling it out. Now today we are going to use whole wheat bread, which has a lot more fiber and nutrients. And to do this, we are going to cut off the edges like so. And we're going to use a pizza cutter because it's a lot easier and cleaner cut than what we've practiced with. And so once these edges are cut off, then we're going to run it with the roller again to get as flat as we can to make that burrito possible.
Alright, so with the peach, what you're going to do is you're going to start by going around the peach, and because there's a pit inside, and you can't just cut right through that because it's really hard, and you just can't do anything with that in any recipe. So once you cut around it, you just twist, and it should pop right on open for you. So once you do that, you're going to take a nice bear claw in your left hand, and with your right, you're just going to start cutting it up into wedges. The reason why you want to use a bear claw is because that's a safe way that you won't worry about your fingers possibly being cut by the knife. And so that way you don't want any little accidents in the kitchen or going to the hospital, because that would end up really bad. And so after you've wedged up your peaches, what you want to do next is just get a little nice dice on there. That's just to make it all small pieces, and that would be mixed well with a little yogurt to go along, and that'll be a nice dipping sauce for your burritos that we're making in a little bit. And the great thing about peaches is that some of them are actually grown in North Carolina, and I have been to multiple Farm to Fork Camp workshops here in Harnett County 4-H, and I've been able to go to multiple farms and see what kind of production they have got going there. Like, I've been to a berry farm where we got to see how blueberries and strawberries and all the other berries have all been made. And I've been to like chicken farms, and I've seen how all of these farmers get to just make all this stuff for consumers to get. And it is really cool just seeing all this stuff happen.
Alright, so as you can see, now I'm going to go crack the eggs with the butter knife. I learned this method in 4-H. I use the butter knife to crack open the eggs to get less pathogens in my work area so it doesn't make as much of a mess. Alright, and now, as I'm going to grab my whisk and whisk them together, it reminds me of the time we went to Cactus Farm and we saw how eggs were produced and how they raised their chickens in a well-mannered way.
Alright, so what we're going to do next is add about 1 cup of spinach into the pan, just to get it nice and wilted. And one reason we're using 1 cup of spinach is because that's about the right proportion for my plate, and that's about a balanced meal for you for the vegetable portion. And after we've got it cooked down a little bit, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add the egg. And once you add the egg, you're gonna want to make sure that you cook it until it reaches a temperature of 145 Fahrenheit internal, just to make sure that all the pathogens that are in there get out and that it's completely safe to eat. And if those were to be kept in there, that would increase your chance of getting foodborne illnesses.
All right, so now we're going to move on to our next part. We're going to take the peaches and we're actually going to make a sauce out of it. So what we're going to do is take the chopped up peaches that we had earlier and mix them into a Greek yogurt. We chose this yogurt because we saw our chopped basket and it didn't have a dairy, so we wanted to include it so we'd hit every category of our My Plates. So now we're just going to mix it all together and it's all good.
And next is the preparation of the burrito. So what we start is getting a half slice of a piece of ham, and that because since we're serving size is 2 burritos, we can get 2 half slices onto each burrito. So that's a whole slice of ham, which means 1 full serving of the protein. And what we do next is put the cheese it on. So normal burritos usually have like a whole just piece of cheese on there or just a whole cheese. So we decided to put the cheese it on there just to get that nice cheese flavor. And so next we add our egg mixture and our spinach mixture to it. And then we just add our tomatoes so we get more vegetables in there, which would help out for more flavor because tomatoes do have good flavor with all of this added in there. And then once you do that, you just start rolling up your burrito very carefully so that it does not end up rolling back out on you, so that you actually have that nice burrito form right in there.
All right, so as we're folding this last burrito here, you notice that we're going to fold it really tightly, and we're going to fold it on seam side down so it doesn't unravel. All right, so now we're going to place them in a pan the same way. After we melted some butter, we're going to lay them seam side down so they don't untangle or ravel. And we're going to let them cook for a minute to 2 minutes until the bottoms get a nice toasty golden brown. And we do this so it gets a nice texture, but the main reason is when we plate it, we don't want it to unfold. So when you try to dip it, all things stay together.
And with all of those steps out of the way, that was the whole entire process to making easy breakfast burritos at home. So here we have our final presentation of our easy breakfast burritos at home. Now, I truly do think the experience that we had today making these was definitely a blast. Just trying to, and it was also a challenge trying to figure out what to do with those Cheez-Its, because I did not know what to do with those at the beginning. What did you think about this, Ryan? Were there any challenges with you with making this?
The challenge for me was the peaches. Trying to figure out where to put them in this dish was definitely the big part. When we thought breakfast burritos, no one really puts fruits or peaches of all things in a burrito, so that was a lot more trouble for me.
Oh yeah, I understand, because the peaches would have given that a really weird, sort of flavor to it, just because it'd be sweet but salty, and just I feel like that'd be really weird in a burrito at the same time.
I agree. All right, so with that being said, we'd like to say thank you to Co-op Extension staff for letting us use the equipment and helping us with editing and filming us in general. And we hope that you guys give this dish a try.